Hello and welcome to the forecast for October 6th until 12th. My name is Desiree de Lunae, your acupuncturist, herbalist, and astrologer, and I am loving this week. After this intense eclipse season, we're going to get a little bit of reprieve here, and we are going to be closing out this whole eclipse window when we have our full moon on Monday. So we're going to start this entire week with a full moon in Aries. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let's dive into it. And if you can be so kind to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified every time a new video is up. Thank you so much. All right, so let us begin. So here we have on Monday, actually, wait, let me make this bigger so that we have it in full screen mode. Perfect. Here we go. So here on Monday, I actually have two slides for Monday because I'm going to start off with the beginning of the day and then the full moon happens later on in the evening. Now, here we are in Libra season. So Libra season is going to bring us a lot of attention and focus upon our relationships and also creating harmony and beauty and connection in our relationships. We're going to attend to things that need a little, beautification, a little sprucing up. And so it's a very nice, pleasant sign for the sun to be in. Now, we do have a major change is Mercury. If you take a look at Mercury over here in Scorpio on the left, it has changed into a whole new sign. It happens today in the morning. And Mercury is also getting pretty close to Mars. It will continue to get closer and closer. It's about 8 degrees away at this point. But when we have Mercury in Scorpio, this is the mind. Okay, Mercury represents the mind. And so the mind is wanting to understand and investigate and research and deep dive and get down to the bottom of things. It really wants to get down to the core truth, what matters most. So there can be quite a bit of mental stimulation here. Scorpio energy can really just sink its teeth into things and a bit obsessive sometimes and controlling and just cannot let up. And the fact that it is getting close to Mars and Mars is influencing Mercury, not as much as if they were a really tight orb, but it's still influencing it. And Mars is very energizing. It's very active. So we're going to see a lot of like mental sharpness and focus and clarity really ramping up. I mean, we already get that from Mars in Scorpio, and Mars is in its home sign in Scorpio, so Mars is super strong. But not only is like our intention and our excitement and passion, enthusiasm to like really deep dive into something, our mind is there too. Our body's there, our spirit's there, and our mind is there too. So if you need to do something that requires a lot of mental energy and mental focus, utilize this, take advantage of this while Mercury is in Scorpio for a bit. So very cool thing. And then in addition to that, it's got a square happening here to Pluto, and that will only accelerate this. Like Pluto in and of itself is extreme. It's all in, it's intense, it's transformational, it's powerful. So talk about like you understanding things where things are making sense or it's coming together and it's actually changing you. Like I could see people changing their mind a lot. There's a lot of indicators for that for this entire week where we are seeing things in a whole new light and we're changing our beliefs or our perspectives about something in our lives, some circumstance, some search situation or a relationship even, since, we've got Sun in Libra that's dealing with relationships. Maybe you're realizing something about a relationship. Maybe there isn't real love or compassion or respect, and you're like, wow, now I get it. So very, very intense mental energy that we all have available to us. I would say this would be really great time to do some kind of shadow work or journaling. Absolutely. Like you probably will get a lot out in your journaling, doing therapy, counseling, like, oh yes, take advantage of all of this. And plus, like with the sun in Libra, like that's about connection and being, and there's a lot of vulnerability here. You can be very vulnerable and open. So, love that for us. Okay, so let's talk about the moon. The moon is in Aries, goes into Aries on Monday. And Aries is a very fiery, fast moving sign. Mars rules both Aries and Scorpio here. And so we're going to feel more of this take charge kind of energy, more initiatory and ready to like go into something. You know, we're already getting it with this Mars and Mercury, but even your emotions, even you're going to feel probably a little bit more courage and boldness and just being audacious. I mean, in this configuration with all the planets I just talked about, there is no BSing around. Like we are being honest, we're being blunt, we are being truthful, maybe even a little bit confrontational and assertive. I would say that'd be the one thing we want to be careful of is, you know, our tongue being very sharp. I mean, if you think about Scorpio, or scorpion, a scorpion. It has the pointy tail with venom in it, right? And so our words, Mercury represents our words, it's already next to Mars. And Moon is in Aries. Like what we say can be very destructive. It can be very hurtful, venomous, painful. So, and then with Moon in Aries, that can make us impulsive and impatient and just like act without thinking, right? So we could just say things that are very hurtful and mean, maybe very honest and truthful, but doing it without, you know, consideration of the other. I think this sun in Libra does help because it kind of softens that and makes us more empathetic and considerate of the other because Libra cares about the other and having peace with the other. But yeah, this is a lot of fiery energy that we're just going to, I just recommend like if you have a lot of intense emotions, which can happen with Moon in Aries, right? Just a lot of like passion or just the heat of the moment or even anger and rage for sure. Because if you think Mars, Aries, that is rage and anger. So just breathe, slow down a bit so that you don't say something that is so deeply hurtful to the other party. Okay, so another one I wanted to bring up is Jupiter is in trine with Saturn all week. It'll continue to probably even into the following week. And that's a nice aspect. I like this because Jupiter, remember, is exalted here in Cancer. It's in the best position. And so this brings a lot of like optimism and hopefulness and vision and just trust and belief in oneself. And it's talking to Saturn. And Saturn brings order and structure and discipline and commitment. So I like that we have this expansion of Jupiter and then we have the structure of Saturn. And Saturn also represents our commitments and our goals. So it's like this expansion and commitment towards our goals. It's like we have this dream, but it's also rooted. So a beautiful feature that we have in the background. Let me tell you, I'm really excited about this week compared to the eclipse season. So we are actually ending our eclipse window today. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the second part of Monday, and we're having a full moon on Monday evening. It does happen at 11:48 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and in this full moon, we have it in the Aries and Libra axis, and when we had our eclipse back in September 21st, right? And so the next major lunation, which is the full moon, because the solar eclipse on September 21st was a new moon, this basically bookends the eclipse season. So eclipse season is done. That doesn't mean the eclipse is not impacting you. The eclipse will be impacting you for many months, maybe sometimes even up to a year. And also, you want to take a look at the degree where eclipse happened. Our eclipse on the 21st of September happened at 29 degrees of Virgo. So if you have any placements there, like that becomes a very sensitive part of the zodiac for the next 6 to 12 months. So if you have planets crossing through there or you have natal planets in that area, those are going to be really activated from the eclipse. A lot of change, new beginnings, new endings. But anyways, my point is eclipse window is ending with the next lunation. So here we have an Aries full moon. It's an Aries full moon because moon is in Aries here. And when we think about Aries, Aries is about independence. It's about drive too, like it's just taking charge. It's about being bold and courageous. It's about freedom. It's going into the unknown. It can handle crises. You can handle quite a bit. Whereas when we look at where the sun is in Libra, Libra is about the other and supporting the other and taking care of the other and bringing peace and unification and harmony, whereas Aries is like independence. So when we have full moon, we're having this like bright, full illumination of what's going on. Some of the things that have been happening since the eclipse on September 21st, because that was a new moon, like a really big new moon, we're going to start to see the harvest of that, see some of the fruits of that, whatever new moon, because when you have plant new moon seeds, you know, the seeds are underground and there's nothing above ground yet. You don't quite know what is going to happen. But when we have a full moon, now you start to get a sense things are moving and shifting in our lives, either internally or externally, where we're starting to see, oh, that's what that eclipse is about. Okay, I'm starting to get it now. And so here we've got this independent Aries and this very like other collaborative, you know, harmonizing, unifying Libra. So one of the things I can see with this illumination, you know, of course, it's going to depend on what house all this is happening. Let me know in the comments below, like, where is your moon in Aries, meaning what house number is it over? Because that will definitely say a lot about this full moon. But when you have this Aries Libra axis, I can see where, okay, what are your own personal emotional needs, like this moon in Aries? What do I want? Because remember, Aries is about the self. It's me, myself, and I, right? So what do I want? What do I desire? What is important to me? What about my needs, right? Whereas the sun is about the other. And so if you've been, for example, making some compromises that are not healthy and not good for you, and maybe overly sacrificing the self for the other here in Libra, right? Maybe like people pleasing, okay, or this whole martyrdom syndrome type of thing, or just focusing on others more, right? Here it's like, no, it's a balance, because that's the thing with oppositions. It's a balance. All right, I need to make sure that I'm getting my needs met and, you know, also be in collaboration, but it's not going to be an extreme in it's all about me, 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 and it's not an extreme. It's all about them, 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 them. Okay. It's okay. Where are we going to meet in the middle here? All right. Because I need to have, when we talk about Aries, Aries is good with boundaries. Very good. Like, this is what I want. This is what I need. And I'm going. I'm independent and I'm free. That's Aries, right? So it knows the self. Whereas Libra can absolutely get lost in others. And so I feel like this full moon is going to be illuminating this situation, this dynamic that all of us go through, you know, especially if you're an empath and you're a woman and a mother, like we tend to be more nurturing and we tend to self-sacrifice a lot. And so I feel like in this full moon, it's going to be easier to express and state what it is that you require. Like, what are your fine lines? Like, what's your boundary right now? But also considering the other too. Okay. So that's a lot about this full moon, but do let me know down below what house is your moon in Aries situated within. Okay. Now let's go on to Tuesday. Tuesday, we still have Moon in Aries. That's the same. It is kind of it's in a waning phase, so it's going to be a little bit less like bright, but still, there's still brightness there. And we have Venus in Virgo. So let's see right here. I'm so excited to talk about this one. So Venus in Virgo, this is where love is expressed through service. So, like I said, this Aries moon is super independent, but there's so many other features here in the cosmos that is making us care about the other two. Because Virgo is very like self-sacrificial sometimes, but it is wanting to help and to serve others too. And so here, there's going to be some changes because the South Node is coming up close to Venus. And throughout the week, it's going to get closer and closer. And when we look at South Node is like a releasing. It's a point of decrease, okay? It's a letting go. And when we have Venus next to this, Venus represents relationships. Venus also represents our pleasures, okay? And also money. So it has a few different indicators. Now, let's talk about relationships. There could be you noticing a decrease in certain relationships that are not feeling healthy to you because Virgo cares about what is healthy. There could be a change in your desires or a lessening of things that used to give you pleasure. Do you ever go through those cycles where like, I'm normally really into this, and then all of a sudden I'm not as passionate about it. I'm not as excited about it because Venus is your pleasures and desires. But when you have the South Node that is decreasing energy there, we can find ourselves, being a little less excited, a little less in love with the things that normally give us pleasure. Have you had that experience? Let me know. And so as they get closer and closer together, it's going to continue. It's going to get stronger. So if life is not as fun or exciting as it used to be, if you get a little blip of that for a week or two, it's quite understandable. And I don't want you to worry. I don't want you to fret about it. I know I do because I'm a very like all in, super passionate kind of person. And if I start to notice my interest and thrill and excitement in something like waning, that is a very cause for concern for me. And when I remind myself, oh, Venus and South Node are pretty close together and going to be exactly together very soon, oh, it's going to pass. It's just going to pass. This could also be like Venus represents our values, and maybe there could be a change in what you value, what you crave, what you desire, your hobbies even. And this is a cleansing too, this South Node in Virgo. So there could be a release and a cleansing, not just to leave a vacuum, but to create some space and openness for this next thing that's going to come around. Because look, Venus is eventually going to go into Libra, and Venus rules Libra. So that means Venus is going to be so powerful and strengthened once it crosses into Libra. And that's not that far away. So I don't want you to get too concerned if you're having that kind of experience. Okay. And Venus is also opposite Saturn in this discussion. So when we're talking about like love, relationships, there is a serious tone with Saturn in opposition to it. Saturn is about, what is real, what is long lasting. We're talking about commitment. And so maybe like if you are finding certain friends in your circle or a lover or partner that you're not feeling that level of commitment and devotion, dedication, and loyalty, this is where you might be releasing some of those relationships because that's what we're going to be craving. We're going to be craving real, genuine, rooted, like deep, honest relationships, especially with all this Pluto talking to Mercury and so forth. So, and on this day, it's actually an exact Pluto Mercury square. So there could be some real talk here within our relationships of all kinds. Okay. All right. So let's continue on to Wednesday, October 8th. Can you tell that I am so much more alive today than in my last one? I am finally coming out from the dead of a horrible, horrible illness plus allergies. Oh my goodness. Austin and allergies are no joke. I bet one day I'm going to leave because I think the city is trying to destroy me. Okay. Anyways, let's go to Wednesday. We have a whole new change with the moon. Moon is going into Taurus, and moon is exalted in Taurus. This is what I'm saying. Like this week, we have a little bit of a reprieve from all the crazy eclipse season that just happened. So moon loves being in Taurus. This is where moon is going to be grounded, more stable. It's an earth sign, right? It's really wanting to take care of oneself, nurture oneself, and even like dive into a little bit of pleasure. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit this opposition going on for sure. This could be, a little battle between like where your head is and where your heart is. But remember, it's the seesaw, it's an opposition. So you got to address both. You've got to make some time for luxury and pleasure and play and fun and just like really stimulating the senses. This is like get the candles going in the evening, diffuse your essential oils, go get that like extra expensive cheese that you would normally never buy at the grocery store. Just go high quality, high end, just a little, it's spend extra few dollars, like I said, for that more expensive cheese and indulge yourself. Because moon in Taurus, that is one thing it likes to do. And plus the sun's in Libra. This likes pleasures too. So between the luminaries both are in signs that are ruled by Venus. Okay, it's ruled by Venus. Now I know Venus is a little struggle bus here with this next to the south node, but maybe try something different. Try something that you've never tasted or experienced. If you've never been to a float tank, like go to a float tank. I talk these things up. I love sensory deprivation tanks. So things that are really just like stimulating your senses. Maybe it's something that physically feels good. Get a massage. Oh my gosh, like get a massage. That would be great. Yeah, go buy some great sheets. This will be a time to buy some good sheets. Okay, so lovely, lovely, gentle, relaxing, pleasure-seeking moon in Taurus. We also have a nice exact sextile. Look at this, 23 degrees Venus, 23 degrees Jupiter. Venus and Jupiter work well together. These are two benefic planets. They usually bring us positive, good things. So talk about like the heart opening up. This could actually help with the stimulation of, these new desires that are just like rising up inside of you. This can bring a feeling of warmth and generosity and openness. And honestly, this would be a great day to go have a beautiful meal at a nice restaurant with a partner or with your girlfriends. I mean, yes, all luxury, like enjoy the connection, enjoy the conversations, the laughter. Like this is good time to socialize. One thing I also love about it is this is very like fertile, rich, generative. So we can talk about creativity, like creativity in writing, because we do, Venus rules the arts. So obviously when we talk about the arts, that's a variety of things that's artistic and creative. And so Jupiter is just feeding and adding all of that, like fertile, nutrient rich, dense, oh goodness, all to Venus. So this is a very feel good day. Okay. I would say Wednesday is one of my favorite days of the week. Okay. So that's Wednesday. Let's go on to Thursday. So Thursday, we have this sun square. Now it's light. Look, sun's at 16 degrees and Jupiter's at 23 degrees. So it'll get exact more like next week, but it's beginning. We're going to get a hint of this. Okay. So it's just going to get stronger throughout the rest of the week, but it's a square. And just know that Jupiter brings a lot of expansion and growth. And so you could feel a bit more confident, a bit more optimistic, even maybe have a little bit more energy to do things and to grow. Plus you have all this, Scorpio stuff happening. Now, because it is a square, we just have to be careful not to overdo it. Sometimes we can, think we have more capacity than we actually do, and then it could lead to burnout. So just make sure that there is sustainability and that you're not saying yes to too many things. So that's one thing of caution, from Thursday all the way to the rest of the week and even into the next week. But we'll touch on that next week. And then Moon is sextile to Jupiter. So that is so nice. My goodness. I was just talking about like that optimistic, hopeful, and like really seeing what's possible there. And Moon is exalted, Jupiter's exalted. Again, and Jupiter is still in sextile with Venus. So talk about, oh wow. So it's a mini grand trine between Jupiter, Venus, and the Moon. Talk about richness in creativity, in relationships too. Oh my gosh. Thursday would also be another great socialization day. So go book something, ask a friend, or make a date night or something like that. Like this is a time of pleasure and enjoyment. Please, 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 because we've got plenty of time for more serious things the rest of this year and next year. So take advantage of the sweet moment that we have. And it's just that Moon sextile Jupiter, like that's gonna make us very empathetic and loving and warm and just nourishing and like uplifting one another. So you'll be in really good company where, people are just speaking words of life into one another. Oh, love it. I love it. And also truthful too. With this Pluto Mercury square, this is very honest. So really honestly, telling someone how brilliant they are and why they're brilliant and how they're brilliant. So it's not just fluff. There's a lot of truth and a lot of weight. This Mercury Pluto, when you speak, like the words have so much power and has the ability, like the Scorpion has the ability to penetrate. And that's why I was saying, like, speak words of life instead of words of death and destruction. You want to be careful because it's going to be powerful in either way. Okay. Now Friday. Moon changes signs. Moon changes signs pretty fast, and that's why our moods can, be up and down and all around every few days. But Moon is in Gemini, and it's talking to Uranus. That's intense. But overall, it's air sign, so it's lighter. Okay, it's rather than like being so in the body when Moon was in Taurus. Now the Moon's in Gemini, so it is ideas, the mind going, and talk about going like. When we have a combination of Mercury in Scorpio and then Moon in Gemini talking to Uranus, like that is a recipe for just your mind cannot stop. Okay, it can't stop. The ideas are just, it's like electric, it's constant. It would be a great day for writing, anything related to communication, writing, speaking, teaching. And multitasking. Oh, you'll be great at multitasking. You might have powerful revelations that just zap through you, for example, and very deep too. When I see all this other Scorpio and Pluto situation going on, like what you realize on these days, what you learn on this day, I mean, it goes in deep. Like there is integration, there is embodiment. So this is intense in a good way. I'm really looking forward to this, but it can cause a little bit of like mentally scattered, a little bit all over the place, getting distracted easily for sure. So if you're noticing that on Friday, just getting so distracted or can't seem to sit still, it's because of the Moon in Gemini also next to Uranus. And Moon is also trine Pluto too. Oh yeah, so Pluto is talking to both Mercury and the Moon, and of course Uranus. So talk about depth of integration and embodiment. It's like you're going to get this incredible zap of wisdom, and you're going to get it. Like you're going to become it, is what I'm trying to say. So talk about serious evolution. Plus it's this whole Uranus, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, like mini grand trine here. You are evolving indeed, and you are changing at a cellular level. This stuff is happening. Things are moving fast, and this eclipse has really accelerated our growth and change and transformation. Okay, so next we're going to go to Saturday, and Sun is trine the moon. That's a really nice conversation. This is like about reflection. This is about alignment between the head and the heart, between the thoughts and the feelings. So very like smooth. It's very smooth. You're going to feel at ease with yourself. That's something I love about a trine between sun and moon, is just feeling more clear and at ease with oneself, especially after we just had this full moon illumination. Now, moon does square Saturn. It will eventually square Saturn towards the end of the day. So in the evening, if you are feeling a little bit blocked or lonely, because the moon changes very fast, when it towards the end of the day, like it's going to really get closer to Saturn, but it'll pull away from the sun. So you might feel really nice and smooth and flowy during the day, like morning and during the day, but then at nighttime, we might get this wave of like feeling alone and isolated, and maybe like a lot of self-doubt, for example. So it depends also on your chart too, but Saturn tends to be heavy when it is in a square to the moon, tends to bring some loneliness too, or some insecurity might pop up. Okay, now Sunday. Sunday, we have moon changing into Cancer, and moon rules Cancer. It's in its home sign. It's happy, and Jupiter is there. So Cancer is just supercharged right now. And you should, especially if you look at that area of your chart, like what house it is. So in this situation, in this chart, like it's in the ninth house. So here, ninth house has to do with learning and education and spirituality. So we might see someone going into really like richly learning and understanding a lot. Maybe it's a particular subject they're into. And then plus with all this like Scorpio intensity here, they're going to deep dive into the subject matter and understand it at a level they've never understood it before. So that's just an example. But the point is, the moon is feeling good, and moon is more reflective here. It's more inwards. It's more about the family and the home and safe spaces, and kind of like curling up in your little nook and corner. So it's very feel good. It's very nurturing and connected with the emotions as well. So just listen to your emotions on this day. What are you feeling like on Sunday? And whatever you're feeling like, you go into it, because you have Jupiter that's a benefic and exalted in Cancer. I mean, luck is on your side here. Listen to your feelings on Sunday. Whatever you feel like doing or getting involved in, you do it. If it's a Netflix binge, you do it, because you might get a lot out of it. Okay. So enjoy yourself on Sunday. But it's more, it's not an air sign. It's not a fire sign. It's not really, really busy out there. No, it's like I said, it's more yin, it's more inward. So make sure that, you have room and space in your day for that. Moon is also trining. Look at this, it's trining Mercury. That's so good. So even like love this. Even your thoughts and your feelings, there's going to be a harmony. Yeah, I could see like reading or learning something. Or have you bought many courses and haven't gone through it? Good. Do that. That would be a good use of your time on this day. We do have some grand trines. Well, a grand trine. We have a trine between Venus and Pluto and Uranus. You see this triangle right here. It's actually also a kite pattern with Saturn, but I'm going to focus right on here. Now, Venus is our pleasures, our desires, all right? And then here with Pluto, it's change, transformation. And then Uranus is liberation and evolution. So, as I was saying, and wow, this is pretty close on the eclipse point too. This is a time where, and we have some separation between the node and Venus. I could see changing desires, something about what you want, what you're needing now in life, what you're craving. Okay, what is pleasurable for you? There is a change happening. There is an evolution happening. You know, if it was the sun, it would be around your purpose, right? Your identity. But this is about your pleasure, your leisure. Maybe there's a new hobby that wants to emerge from you, you know? And that's important. You know, it's not all just work, work, work. So I really love this. Or even like self-worth too. Venus represents self-worth. So we can see a deepening, you know, an evolution in your own self-acceptance. Oh, so beautiful, so powerful. I love this week. Enjoy this week. Please do let me know how it goes, and enjoy all the Scorpio energy, because this Mercury is going to start getting close to to Mars. We're already 5 degrees away, so that's pretty close. This can make us a bit more aggressive, a little bit more combative. Okay, so that's just one thing to watch out for, that we're not hurting people's feelings. We can be honest, absolutely, but hopefully this Libra energy teaches us to be kind and compassionate and respectful in our communication and conversation, and not attacking, because you know Mars is attacky with its weapons. I mean, you see the arrow sticking up, so it's very pokey, and especially being in Scorpio, we've got two pokies right here. Okay. So yeah, be kind with your words. And that would be my one piece of advice. Thank you so much. And we will see you in the next forecast. Do you want to know what your next birthday year holds? Well, your birthday is not just another celebration. It is a powerful astrological moment. It's when the sun returns to the same degree as when you were born, and whatever is in the sky on that day, that essentially is the birth chart for the entire year. And this reveals major themes, opportunities, and potential changes, transitions that you're going to be going through. So whether you want to know about career changes or relationship changes or possibly a move, all of it is there in the solar return chart. Now, don't navigate this next year blindly. Go ahead and book a solar return reading down below so that you are stepping into this new chapter with clarity and confidence.